Trouble in paradise. Tonight, angry Australians who say they're being squeezed out of an idyllic lifestyle by a wealthy Chinese developer. The island paradise could be one of our most picturesque tourist spots. But the new owners are trying to stop Aussies from even setting foot on the public beach.
This should be for all Australians.
It's all about money.
They don't want us on the island. Simple as that.
Wake up, Australian government. Wake up. We're losing it.
It's hard to believe that an island as beautiful as this, that's predominantly national park, could somehow fall into Chinese hands. What's even more hard to cop are the measures they are now taking to prevent Aussies from setting foot on this piece of paradise. This is Keswick Island, part of the iconic Whitsundays group nestled inside the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park. Getting here should be a short flight from Mackay, but the new Chinese owners have closed the airstrip to local residents. Instead, we have to make the 30-kilometre trip by boat. Locals are also banned from docking at the public barge ramp. We approach via dinghy into this much smaller and dangerous boat ramp, clambering ashore via the water. Pretty unceremonious arrival there. The welcome signs are up, but it's these other signs popping up all over the island that have locals concerned, even extending to the waters of stunning Basil Bay, trying to claim this pristine Aussie beach is off limits to the public.
That's not who we are as a community, and it's not who we are as a nation. And this is not acceptable in Australia. It might be okay in China, but it's not acceptable in Australia.
Julie Willis and her partner Robert Lee lived on Keswick Island for 6 years until they were booted off in February.
And they were giving us 3 days to vacate the property, pack our things up and be off the island.
What had you done wrong to be evicted from this place?
We don't know. I think we were renters, and there was an issue with people renting on the island.
China Bloom, the development company which now owns the main lease on the island, has blocked homeowners from renting out their properties, even on Airbnb, destroying any local tourism.
As far as I know, there have been no tourists since September last year when our last guests were here.
Raina Asbury has owned this property for 15 years. She says China Bloom is the first to cause so many roadblocks for locals. Even the island's greatest public asset, its national park, has been locked shut.
So at the end of the day, I mean, we're all law-abiding citizens. We all want to do the right thing. And that's all we're asking for on this island, is for everybody to be doing the right thing.
We want every Australian to have access to Keswick Island, absolutely.
Craig Gilbert is a retired chiropractor who now calls this stunning place home. He was most affected by the airstrip closure, as he used to fly this small plane back and forth to the mainland like it was his family car.
Been flying in here for 13 years. I've landed on that airstrip 1,305 times without incident. So they can't claim there's a safety issue or anything. I believe it's just to shut down our access.
How do you feel you're being treated by China Bloom?
They don't care.
We're fighting a big company and we're only little Aussie battlers.
After being evicted from the island as renters, Robert and Julie have signed a contract to purchase this mortgagee repossession. But developer China Bloom is running more roadblocks, demanding the couple pay them a $100,000 deposit as security, ensuring they bring the home up to scratch.
We were aware that it needed the solar power replacing, and to do that was nowhere near $100,000 worth of work.
Why do you think they're treating you like this?
I think that they're trying to deter us from buying the property.
They don't want you here?
They don't want us here, no.
I feel a bit like Darryl Kerrigan out of the castle, to be truthful. It's just not justice, it's not law, it's just not good at all.
Keswick Island is owned by the Queensland Government, with 80% of its 550 hectares deemed a national park. China Bloom purchased the head lease on the remaining 20% last year, the terms of which are very clear.
So the first line of the head lease agreement is that Keswick Island is for tourism. That's the very first word.
China Bloom's agent in Australia is a company called Grayton Holdings. It has over $1 billion worth of construction projects underway across the country, including the new W Hotel in Sydney's Darling Harbour. Grayton's CEO Nico Tang is well connected in China, pictured here with the second most powerful man in the ruling Chinese Communist Party, Li Keqiang.
What do you think China Bloom's motivation is behind this?
I just don't think that they want Australians on the island. I think that they want to have this island solely for the use of the Chinese tourism market.
What would you think if this piece of paradise was lost to Australians and was only for Chinese tourists?
I think all Australians should be angry. We want to make a home here. We want to buy our piece of Australia, and China is making it very hard.
It seems like Keswick Island's become a province of Chinese Communist Party. That's what it looks like to me.
How does it make you feel that a foreign-owned company can treat Australian citizens like this?
It's a real concern. And I think our island here is just a small example of what they're doing to Australia.
Keswick isn't the only island under Chinese control. Neighbouring St Bees is as well, along with Lindeman, South Mole and Daydream Island too. Daydream has at least been rebuilt into a resort. Others, like St Bees, have been all but abandoned and left in a disgusting state.
If St Bees were on the mainland and someone left that national park in the state it's in, people would be outraged. People should be angry.
St Bees Island, which is not connected to China Bloom, recently had 8 illegal commercial fishing nets seized by Fisheries Queensland. Back on Keswick Island, there are further environmental concerns. This beach was graded with heavy machinery, despite it being a known turtle nesting area.
They've got a sign up there by Basil Bay that says this is a turtle nesting habitat. Then they go with their machines and destroy the nests. It's just bizarre. I mean, it's just, why would people do that?
The residents have taken their concerns to Queensland's Premier, who has previously told media she's not across the issue. The lease signed by China Bloom falls under the remit of new Minister for Natural Resources, Scott Stewart.
The minister should tell China Bloom they're dreaming if they think they can do this in Australia.
I think the state government has to be answerable for this because the head lease agreement is with them. And we have brought to their attention a lot of the breaches, and there's never been any repercussion for any of those breaches.
The Minister buck passed our inquiries to his department, with a spokesperson saying,
"The majority of the issues raised by a small number of sublessees do not fall under the terms of the lease and are a commercial matter between them and the head lessee to resolve."
What would you say to this Chinese company who wants to make life difficult for people here?
It shouldn't be difficult. This is not the place for difficulty. This is where you should come and work with us, and we can help you with your development.
How would you feel if this place ended up just being shut off solely for Chinese tourists?
Oh, devastated. It's wrong. The Australian government, get your act together. You're giving Australia away.
What's going on? We put a series of questions to China Bloom's Australian agent Grayton Holdings. They didn't respond.